My name is Mary. I'm 28 years old. After graduating from college with a degree in life design, I've been working at a design company for 5 years. I have a partner, and we recently had a wedding. My partner's name is Kevin. Kevin works in sales at an advertising agency. He's kind and trustworthy. We've been gradually preparing for our wedding, amidst our work and daily lives. Both of us are only children, and our parents were eagerly looking forward to our marriage. But there's this unbelievable person who tried to ruin our wedding. This time I want to talk about that person, Rory, a colleague of Kevin's at work. It was a few months after Kevin and I got engaged and had sent out our wedding invitations. I was invited to a cafe by my college friend, Kate.
It's been a while, Kate. What did you want to talk about?
Mary, what should I do? My boyfriend, he broke off our engagement.
Broke off the engagement? What do you mean?
Asked by a coworker, Kate had reluctantly joined a party to make up numbers. Just put in an appearance for a minute, and you can leave early. She was told that. I had kept declining again and again because I was engaged, but I couldn't refuse outright. Kate didn't think she drank much, but she got quite drunk. Her memory was fuzzy, and next thing she knew it was morning.
And then, I was apparently assaulted while I was drunk and asleep.
No way. By one of the men at the party?
Kate confided with tears streaming down her face. Then she touched her belly. I was speechless. Kate had gotten pregnant that night at the party. She had maintained a chaste relationship with her fiancé. It definitely wasn't her fiancé's child. Kate couldn't keep it a secret and confessed everything honestly. Then her fiancé exploded in anger. He scolded her for her careless behavior and called off their engagement. After telling me this, Kate broke down in tears.
What should I do? I'm so stupid. I never thought this would happen.
Kate, it's not your fault. The man who assaulted a drunk woman is to blame. It's a crime.
We must make the man responsible, face the consequences. We must never give up. I decided to be there for Kate, no matter what.
So, do you know who the guy is?
Yeah. There were 3 men, but the most suspicious one is.
I was shocked to hear the name. There was someone with the same name among Kevin's colleagues. When I told Kevin about my conversation with Kate, he looked pained.
Rory? Damn it. What a terrible thing he's done.
Is it really him? The Rory who's your colleague?
Yeah, he was bragging a while back about sleeping with a woman from a trading company. We can't forgive this, Kevin said, clenching his fists tightly.
Roy worked in sales at the same advertising agency as Kevin, and he's the son of the executive director. His personality was frivolous, and he was a bit of a show-off. He tended to get carried away and acted recklessly. Moreover, he lacked a sense of responsibility and tended to shift blame and escape when things went south.
Someone else will clean up his mess, he thinks. He's the worst. He's even blamed me for his mistakes several times. Truly awful.
We must make Rory pay for what he did to Kate. In secret, we began to help Kate prepare to sue Rory. Then a few days later, the day of my wedding with Kevin arrived. The issue with Kate was still unresolved, but the wedding couldn't be postponed. I did contact Kate to apologize.
I'm sorry my friend is going through a tough time, and here I am getting married.
Don't worry about it. I'm sorry for canceling my attendance so suddenly.
Kate congratulated me on my wedding multiple times. Determined to honor her feelings, I decided to make today's ceremony beautiful. But one thing bothered me. Rory, a colleague of the groom, was also there.
I'm really sorry. If we didn't invite him, it would cause trouble later.
It's okay. We can't help it. Let's make him pay for his crimes after this is over.
Rory was making a scene, drinking more than enough welcome drinks. He was more conspicuous than us at our wedding reception. And it wasn't in a good way. His face was bright red, his eyes leered, and he wouldn't stop talking. His inner ugliness was all too apparent on the outside. This man ruined my dear friend's future. I wished he would just leave. But I couldn't say such a thing. I endured it, following Kevin's lead. All the while, Rory continued his commotion. As the reception progressed, it was time for the best man's speech. Suddenly, Rory enthusiastically raised his hand.
Hey, let me as a colleague say a few words first.
It wasn't planned, but Kevin's dad allowed it, thinking it was a good opportunity. Kevin and I exchanged glances. We had a bad feeling. Rory, unsteady on his feet, went to the microphone and bowed. Then he grinned.
Actually, I have some unfortunate news for everyone here. Our groom, Kevin, you see, he once impregnated my girlfriend.
The banquet hall erupted into chaos. Everyone's attention turned to Kevin. I saw Kevin's mom faint in the family section of the groom's side. My relatives stood up one after another and demanding, "What do you mean?" "Explain this." Kevin was cornered and visibly shaken. The staff was confused. Rory was laughing loudly. He clearly enjoyed the turmoil he caused. I couldn't stand it anymore.
Enough is enough. What's fun about making up nonsense and troubling people? You're the one who assaulted my friend and got her pregnant. I know it. I will never forgive you for what you did to my friend, and we will definitely sue you.
My outburst suddenly quieted the hall. I borrowed a microphone from a nearby staff member and continued.
Recently, my friend was assaulted at a party and became pregnant against her will. She's in utter despair. The perpetrator of that assault is him, Rory.
No, not true. Don't make up such nonsense.
It's not a lie. We have evidence. We conducted a DNA test on the fetus. It didn't match with any man but you.
What? When did they do such a test?
Everything is almost ready for the lawsuit. Be prepared. Honestly, I didn't want to invite you here. Kevin and I struggled with it. But the incident came to light after we sent the invitations. So we endured it.
At the request, I passed the microphone to Kevin. He sighed deeply, glared at Rory, and said, "You recklessly lied and ruined Mary and my reception. I'll never forget this grudge. You will pay for your crimes." Now all eyes in the hall were on Rory. Caught in his guilt, Rory started yelling pathetically.
Kevin, you're getting too big for your boots. It's your fault for getting married. You shouldn't have gotten married before me, someone like you.
Rory was subdued by security and escorted out of the venue. He continued to resist pathetically until the end. As order was restored, the reception resumed. Kevin's boss, Tom, addressed the situation.
I apologize for my subordinate's terrible behavior. He will be dealt with severely. His misconduct and lies have been a major issue within our company. As his superior, I deeply regret not guiding him properly.
Tom apologized, and then he restored Kevin's honor.
Meanwhile, Kevin's sincerity is well known in our company. Even when troubled by that man earlier, Kevin handled it calmly. His focus on maintaining harmony in the department, rather than his personal interests, is truly admirable. There aren't many men as trustworthy and promising as Kevin. Mary, you're lucky. You found a wonderful partner. I sincerely congratulate the two of you on your marriage.
Tom concluded. The hall erupted in applause. Then relatives and friends came to congratulate us. Everyone apologized to Kevin, saying they were sorry for doubting him. Kevin just gave a wry smile. A warm atmosphere returned to the hall. If it weren't for that man, Kate could have enjoyed such happiness too. While enjoying the reception, my hatred for Rory deepened. Later I heard Rory was hung out to dry at Kevin's company. Tom was really angry and explained everything at the executive meeting.
The executive director, Rory's father, was present. He deeply apologized to the president and everyone in the meeting room. Please allow me to apologize. As a father, my son has caused you all great inconvenience. I'm truly sorry.
Dad, no, it's not like that. I didn't mean to. About the party, it was just the alcohol and an irresistible force.
Shut up. I don't want to hear another word from you. I made a mistake in how I raised you. You're a burden to the company, a disgrace to our family. You're the blemish of my life.
Even after being disowned by his father, Rory continued his pathetic resistance. But his misconduct and foolishness were already well known to all. Not a single employee sided with Rory or tried to help him.
Eventually, Rory chose to resign voluntarily. Everyone at work was relieved.
Kevin told me that. It was truly pitiful to be rejoiced at one's departure. Naturally, no one attempted to organize a farewell party for Rory. Packing his belongings, Rory left the company with drooped shoulders. There were developments in the assault case, too. Kate's former fiancé filed a claim for damages against Rory.
The cost of the engagement ring, the money paid to the venue, cancellation fees, and more. He had covered most of it. The claim for damages is quite substantial.
Kate, what about you? The Rory's lawyer offered a settlement, right?
I absolutely refuse to just take the money and end this. He must atone for his crime.
Kate no longer had the baby in her womb. She had a miscarriage at 4 months. Likely it was due to the intense stress and sorrow she endured. The sad experience seemed to have made Kate stronger. The amount of damages demanded from Rory by Kate's ex-fiancé was around $30,000. Rory tried to borrow money from his parents, but they firmly refused. So he had to cover it all with his savings and loans. Rory tried to find a new job, but struggled to make it to the final interview.
His frivolous appearance must be getting in the way, Kevin speculated.
Recently, Rory has been working multiple part-time jobs just to earn his daily expenses. Most of the money he earns, however, goes towards paying off his debts. A few days later, I got a message from Kate saying she had filed a lawsuit against Rory. She was ready to fight, with her lawyer by her side. DNA tests and testimonies confirmed that Rory was undoubtedly the father of the child. Taking advantage of someone drunk and unconscious to commit a forceful act falls under the crime of sexual assault. The statutory penalty is a fixed-term imprisonment of at least 5 years. Unfortunately for Kate, Rory's lawyer was quite skilled. In the end, Rory was sentenced to 4 years in prison. As he was leaving the courtroom, he repeatedly apologized to Kate.
I was apologized to over and over, but I never thought of forgiving him.
That's right. He should live the rest of his life atoning for his sins.
Rory's actions, driven by his desires, disrupted Kate's life. The extinguishing of a small life was not unrelated to him. The crime committed by Rory was not only taking the precious life of a fetus, but also subjecting the mother to immense stress. Rory, who acted recklessly without thinking of the consequences, caused suffering to many. He should spend his entire life atoning for his sins. I strongly wished it. The 4 years without Rory seemed to bring calm to many. I heard Kate recently started a new relationship.
I told him everything. About being a victim of sexual crime, and about the miscarriage. It was hard, but he said it must have been tough. I'll take care of everything.
It's wonderful. Really wonderful that you found such a great person.
When I heard the story, I couldn't help but tear up myself. A person who knew about Kate's emotional scars and the details of the incident, yet still chooses to stay by her side. He seems to be a much more understanding and kinder man than her previous fiancé. In these past 4 years, Kevin and I also became parents. Our child is a boy, now a 1.5 years old. Kevin looks after him when I'm not around. Every day we're fumbling through parenting, hustling, and bustling.
How about you, Mary? How's married life? Is the baby cute?
Thanks to you all as well. We fight sometimes, but our child is unconditionally adorable.
I'm envious. I want a child soon too. I still think about the one I lost.
Don't blame yourself, okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm looking forward. Someday, I want to welcome a child with my current partner. And this time, I want to love them with all my heart.
Kate's emotional wounds will probably never completely heal. But I'm sure the happy times ahead will heal her. Let's both keep pushing forward. That day, Kate and I waved goodbye to each other. One day, Kevin told me he had encountered Rory, who had been released from prison. When he was walking down the street during work, Rory approached him.
His hairstyle and look were different, but his eyes and way of speaking were the same.
Kevin said with a look of disgust. Apparently Rory had asked him for money.
He's been going around asking acquaintances for money, even just $1. When he asked me if he managed to borrow any, I just replied, "Don't ask."
Of course, no one would want to deal with him. Everyone knows about his crimes. What happened next?
He started saying, "Why me?" So I scolded him. "It's your own fault, your life is a mess. Reflect on it."
Rejected by Kevin, Rory slumped his shoulders and disappeared into the crowd. Later, Kevin heard a disheartening story about Rory from the executive director. Rory had cunningly swindled money from a young relative who had just started working.
That fool. He said he could multiply the money through investments.
How awful. What happened to the money?
We caught him and made him return it all. Then we cut him off. I'm fed up. I'm really sorry for the trouble my son caused, especially at your wedding. If he troubles you again, please contact me right away.
Thank you so much, sir.
The executive director looked very tired, perhaps due to the stress. Having a child with such a character brought unimaginable hardships to parents. Kevin felt truly sorry for him. He strongly hoped his unfilial son, Rory, would receive the punishment he deserved. A few months later, on a holiday afternoon, Kevin and I went for a drive. The purpose was to get our child to nap. When we put him in the car, he fell asleep quickly. There was a large river running through the city, with vast riverbanks on both sides.
When I was gazing out absent-mindedly, I let out an unintentional ah.
What's wrong? Did you forget something?
No, it's not that. I just saw someone down by the riverbank. It was him.
Kim? You mean Rory?
Yes, he was dirty and disheveled, walking with others dressed similarly.
Even from a distance, his walk and gestures made it clear. It was undoubtedly Rory. Now, it seemed he found a place to stay somewhere along this riverbank. He was probably scraping his living by collecting cans and old books to sell. He might be lining up for soup kitchens or perhaps even scavenging leftover food. I didn't feel sorry for him. Rather, it seemed fitting for someone like him. Rory, who hurt my friend and tried to ruin Kevin's and my wedding, 4 years in prison was too lenient. I thought he deserved to atone for his actions over a much longer period. Hoped he would fall even lower than where he was now. I strongly wished that. Life for Kevin and me has been smooth sailing. Calm, without major troubles, just as we'd hoped. Our relationship with both of our in-laws is good, and our child is growing up healthy. Neither Kevin nor I have any intention of spoiling our child. We don't want to raise someone who finds joy in others' suffering. What's right and what's wrong. What it means to behave as a decent human being. I want to be a parent who can properly convey these values. Rory's crimes have led us to these convictions. In that sense, his existence may not be entirely useless.